Alright, and welcome back to the third video in the Desmos online graphing calculator series. This is the first video where we will actually get into learning something, get into using Desmos, and at the end of this you will be able to click on a link in the bottom of this video or in the description part of this video, and there will be a link to a Google form, and you can take that and test your knowledge and see what you learn. So we'll start here with this over here on the left. Okay, this is your input and here is your output. So if you think of it just like a graphing calculator, this is where you would type in your line or whatever it is that you want to type in. So let's do that here. We'll just do something simple, +1. And you see here, as I was typing it, I got a graph to show up for this and here, and it just adjusts. Okay, so let's take a second to talk about kind of the layout of Desmos. You can see over here you got your zoom in, your zoom out buttons. So if you'd like to see more, if you'd like to see less, and then once you've done your zooming in, zooming out, you can click that home button, and it'll bring you back to where you started. And then up here in this graph settings section, you click on this button, and there's a um, bunch of different things you can change, just like on the graphing calculator. You can change your viewing window right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make this -20 to +20, and then we'll also go from -5 to +5, just like that. You can see that was changed right there. And for whatever reason, if you like to get rid of the numbers, if you get rid of the minor grid lines, you can take all that away. I like to keep them. It's just very easy. And then zoom square will make it, it'll take it back, make it look a little bit better. So there that is, and you can increase the step again, just like on a graphing calculator. You can determine how far away these major lines are. Okay, so that's kind of that. And then also a super nice feature here. Let's go back to the home. Right, -10. Okay, perfect. You can look here. You see the grid. You can disable the grid, I guess. But I don't know why you'd want to do that if you're using this for graphing purposes. But here it is. You can click this, and this gives you the radians. And again, this is a video for math teachers, so I won't explain obviously what this is for. But maybe if you're graphing circles, doing some sine functions, whatever it is, you have two different options for how you want those grid lines to appear. And also, you can change it from degrees to radians. So it's a pretty handy tool to use. So this is all the setting, and again, this is up here in that settings tab, and you can change all that as you wish. Okay, so here we have a line, and that was just kind of the first thing that I wanted to point out. So a line, this you can use this just like anything, just like any other graphing calculator. You can do parabolas, you can do lines, parabolas, and points. Okay, so here let's say we have we'll just keep this. Let's zoom out a little bit so we see a little bit more of it, and then we can go down here. We can just start typing away, and now I want to put in the point 12, 20, and that'll appear in a different color. If you want to show the label, it does that for you, which is really nice. If you want to give it a point, let's just call this point point A. Maybe you want to get a line going through this, or I mean you can use this. So points, they look the same. Okay, and if you want to do multiple points, go ahead and add another one, and it'll give you a different color. So we'll go 3, -2, just like that. And there's another point there, and it's a different color. And you see over here, you see how my cursor changes into a little pointy finger. If you click on one of those, it will hide and it will show it for different reasons. But it'll keep the label there, right there for you. You take the label out. So there's a point, there's a label, okay? So I'm actually going to take these out. You see I do that simply by clicking on that X button in the top. We're going to clear our graph here. I don't need to add anything here, but I'd like to draw this graph y equals 2x minus 4. And again, this is just an arbitrary graph that I picked. Also down here, you can see it has a bunch of symbols for you to use for graphing and such. And so let me just use one of these here. Let's go y is equal to the absolute value of x minus 2. There we go. Perfect. So now we got a couple different lines here. Let's move that over, I guess, so it's not on top of each other. Minus 4 there. Perfect. So, and it'll show you the intersection points. If you want to see those, it's super nice. You can highlight them. You see there. Perfect. Also, a great tool here is if you add a note. Let's say this graph right here is from page 28, problem number 6. Perfect. And then you have that right there for you when you open this the next time, which is super helpful. So there it is. So there today we've talked about in this video, we've looked at how to graph something. And this is under the expression. So if you want to add a new expression, it pops up. You can go y equals 3, and there's a straight line. Nice. And then you see here, you have a slider here as well. You can go up and down with this. Okay, super simple. If you want to change that, if you want to change the range that it goes, you can go from up to 5 from -2, and you want it to step at 2. Perfect. We'll come off here, and again you can move it left and right just like that. And again, you can kind of play around with when you need or want to use that. And so there it is, and let's save this. We'll use this saving feature. Perfect. And we just saved it here as an untitled graph, but I don't want to save that like that. There, it's deleting. Perfect, it's deleted. Now let's come back in here. Let's change this, and we're going to name this video 1 graph. Perfect. Save that, and then that'll appear up here in your current graph. This is in your saved graph. So now when I come here and I navigate to this page again, I can get back at our graph once I come in here. And again, we talked about this in the last video while I'm signed in, and there's my graph again. It'll load it right up for me so I can use that. So we've learned a little bit about graphing things on the Desmos graph using an equal sign. Also, I guess I should mention here, you can also add a greater than or less than, and it'll do the highlighting for you, so you can see that and envision it. You can hide and show, and you can use a little slider, and we'll get into sliders a little bit more as we go on through the video. And then don't forget the notes. The notes can be anything you want. You can talk to the class, do whatever you need to do, and those are the notes. So there it is. Actually, one more thing before we go. I don't think I mentioned this. Projector mode, this is a good thing for teachers. If you're going to be projecting this on a screen, you can use this, and then all it does is makes the font a little bit bigger, makes the lines a little bit darker, so you can see them more clearly on a projector. So I'm going to take that off for now because you're watching this on your computer or iPad or wherever, and it seems to be a little obnoxious. So that is the first video on expressions, the intro to expressions and graphing, and we'll get into sliders a little bit more in the next video. So we'll see you over there, and have a good day.